Is this thing on? Are we live? Every night for the longest time, we've been saying hopefully we'll get DeAndre Hopkins news at the end of every one of our live streams for the last 2 months. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We got some freaking DeAndre Hopkins news. Let's go. He just signed to the Tennessee Titans, or is about to sign. They're finalizing like a few numbers here and there. But reports is it's a 2-year deal. First year, he's going to be paid $15 million, and then his base salary will be $12 million. So in his second year, he'll be making $12 million, which is pretty freaking sweet, if you ask me. And typically, I don't like do these impromptu streams, but the moment I saw Adam Schefter break the news on the Twitterverse, I raced home, created this thumbnail, and got my tuchus online because I really want to see how this affects ADP. Now, I have a few takes on how this affects ADP, but before we go into that, we need to talk about why Hopkins reportedly picked the Tennessee Titans of all places. One, he wanted sound and consistent management. Okay. Two, he wanted a quarterback who loves football. I believe there's 3 quarterbacks there. So which one he's talking about, I have no idea. And 3, he wanted a team with a great defense because defenses win championship. Holy shit, we're at the 101. Let's take Justin Jefferson. So those are the 3 factors that led him to going to Tennessee. Now, he's being politically correct. I won't be. I believe the genuine reason why DeAndre Hopkins picked the Tennessee Titans is because they're one of the only teams that could afford him. He's 31 years old now. Surely he has good football left in him. But in terms of, wanting to quote unquote win a Super Bowl, I don't see Tennessee Titans being the team that's going to take him there. But that's neither here nor there. Let's just see how this shakes up ADP. In my humble opinion, whatever it happens to ADP and however it shakes out for ADP, I think this is a bad move for Hopkins, simply because Ryan Tannehill is not a wide receiver 1 friendly quarterback. He just won't get the rock to Hopkins at the volume you need for Hopkins to jump up significantly in ADP. Personally, on my big draft energy guidelines and drafters and draft ADP, I'm actually lowering him overall. Like I wouldn't say I'm fading him, but he's definitely gone down in ADP. Now, another person who should go down in terms of ADP is Treylon Burks, because he was going off in the 6th round, sometimes late 5th round. He was going off the board as the wide receiver 23 or 24 here on Drafters Fantasy Sports. And with that being said, I think he's going to start going way, way, way lower now. You could start catching him maybe 8th or 9th round. That's just my prediction. But we'll see how things shake out. Once again, it's too early to make any sort of predictions. Now, this draft is not going to be indicative on how the rest of the season is going to go. So I want to see if anybody hops on the hype and jumps up on the hype. So it should be interesting. Once again, we don't do these impromptu streams almost ever, but we've been saying every single night since DeAndre Hopkins was released by the Cardinals that literally our closing statement every stream is hopefully we get some DeAndre Hopkins news, and here we have it. So I had to come out here today and tell you folks, and it's crazy to think that we posted this video on YouTube 15 20 minutes ago, very late. I didn't give anybody any sort of time to jump in because I really want to get a first look on how this Hopkins news will shake up ADP. And we still have some disco balls in here. We got I don't know how he does it, but he always does it. Our good friend Jonesy Wan Kenobi at the 103. What's up, baby boy? Yours truly is at the 101. We got Angry Elf, aka Boilerman, at the 109. What's up, brother? And we got Willie, Big Willie style, at the 110. So the fact that you guys are like this dedicated not only to fantasy football but to the Disco Ball Nation, cause, I salute you. God bless you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. So this is very exciting. I'm very curious to see how this draft will go. If Hopkins does jump up in the third round, it wouldn't be something outrageous. I think something outrageous would be like second round. He should go towards the later end of the third round, early beginning of the fourth round. That's what ADP's had him at before. Just like based on most drafts that we've done in the past. I'm very curious to see what it does to Derrick Henry, because now Derrick Henry is not going to face those crazy super heavy boxes because there are two significant threats. So this is great news for Derrick Henry. This is also phenomenal news for Tajay Spears as Derrick Henry's handcuff. So I really like what it does for the running back situation. But until like there's a clear cut, definitive response and like sign of who the hell is the quarterback for the now and the future in Tennessee, I don't know how I personally feel about reaching Hopkins now. All right, we're on the board. Since we were talking about Derrick Henry, we'll snap, and then we'll also get we'll get Ramondre. It's a weird start. We'll go Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson. Once again, like I want to see who's jumping on this wide receiver value, and I also want to make sure that I'm competing and getting unique with my lineup builds. So I've never had Derrick Henry and Ramondre Stevenson in a lineup. So this is new. This is new to me. So I'm okay with this. These are both volume heavy, touchdown dependent running backs. I'm okay with it. But yeah, before we go too much further into what the hell's going on and why the hell we're live on a Sunday at what time is it? 3:27 p.m. We'll tell you what we're doing and where we're doing that. Right now, we're drafting in a real, live, high stakes best ball fantasy football draft. I'm personally drafting from Ontario, Canada. So this is in fact available in Ontario. We're currently doing the Drafters $3 mini. So first place wins $30,000. There's $200,000 in total winnings. The big tournament is the Drafters $2 million. First place wins $300,000. There's $2 million in total winnings. It is best ball format. So best ball, in my humble opinion, is the most convenient way for you to draft. You have 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. Each week, a starting lineup is composed of the following positions: 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. At the end of the week, the best overall performances on your roster will be submitted in your weekly matchup. So no more leaving points on the bench, no more waiver wires, no more trades. And now, if you sign up using promo code DiscoDrafts1, you get up to $100 match with your initial deposit, which is pretty freaking sweet. And to sweeten the deal, Drafters Fantasy just released a season-long NFL pick'em prop. So if you go like, I want 4 props for season long in the NFL that Drafters provides, you're going to 10x your money. If you go 8, which I've done like a crazy amount of, if you go 8 different props, they'll 100 extra money. So $1 will be $100. It's crazy. It's bonkers. But yeah, we'll catch up on the chat, and then we'll also catch you guys up on the draft. All right. Jonesy Wan Kenobi says, hey Jonesy Wan Kenobi. Kobe and the Cattle Dog says, all clear. Thank you, baby boo. Love you. This is my wife. Jonesy Wan Kenobi says, I screenshotted all the Titans ADP to see how they fall or rise over the next week. I mean, I think that's a great idea, but you and I have done enough of these drafts where there it is. There it is. DeAndre Hopkins gone as pick 39 in the 4th round to our good friend Big Willie style. So that's roughly right around where he's been going. So nothing new there. I'm very curious to see what goes on with Treylon Burks though. I don't know if I think that's like we won't know what's happening with Treylon Burks until we do like 10 of these drafts, but it's good to see, an immediate look as to how this news affects ADP. And another guy who I think really, really benefits from DeAndre Hopkins signing is Chigozie Mukonku, because he was the receiver number 2. He was the second threat in Tennessee, and he was going to get the second best cover player, whether it be Sam or on board. We'll go with Moore and Justin Fields. Let's do it. I like our start. So yeah, he was going to acquire either a lot of double teams. He was going to get bumped a lot. This frees up Chig in the flats, and with Hopkins and Treylon Burks taking the top off of the defense, he's going to live in the middle of the field. So I think this is great news in terms of volume and receptions for Chigozie Mukonku. And other than Derrick Henry, I believe Chigozie Mukonku is the biggest winner in this Hopkins signing. And you guys are going to be like, oh, well, like, there's only one football. A new target doesn't mean that, like, especially one who's going to acquire a lot of volume and balls thrown his way. It makes perfect sense from like a schematic, like X's and O's approach. Chigozie Mukonku is going to be the open guy. We know Tannehill doesn't really have the best arm. We know that the rookie quarterback, if he was to come in, Will Levi, his favorite target's going to be his checkdowns because he's not quite adapt to the NFL yet. So he's not going to be able to go through the deep reads. He's going to have to check down a lot. We know that Malik Willis, if he does get a shot, and Malik Willis, reports say, has been the best quarterback in camp right now for the Tennessee Titans, right? So regardless of who it is, Derrick Henry is going to benefit because defenses are going to have to play more honest and not stack the box against him, which is great news for him. And then Chigozie Mukonku is also going to benefit because DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks are going to take the top off of the defense. So he's going to be just wide open more often than not. And like, even though they're paying Hopkins big money, you got to hit the open guy. And I think Chigozie Mukonku is the biggest beneficiary in this entire ordeal. All right. Let's catch up on the chat. Lee McKinnon says, outrunning Aaron, so couldn't make the draft, but have you playing on the headphones? Sweet, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for listening in. Sean Wilson, round of applause. You're a legend, buddy. You're a legend. I absolutely love the fact that you're in here and you got that DeAndre Hopkins thumbnail correlation. So Treylon Burks is currently available. This is around where Treylon Burks would go. So we'll see if he goes to anybody other than Disco Ball Nation. But I wouldn't be surprised if he falls and really gets a nice double stack in the 7th round with both DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks. So this is very interesting. Jonesy Wakanombi says, surprisingly, I'm only at 5% on D-Hop, have 0% Burks, 1% Henry, and Okonkwo. I think you waiting is going to be very beneficial. I think the only person who's going to skyrocket in ADP from the Tennessee Titans offense is Ryan Tannehill. Instead of him being like borderline undraftable or like in the last 2 rounds, I think you're going to start seeing him within like round 15, 16, maybe even earlier. So I think he's going to skyrocket. And I think, thank God I don't have too much exposure to Tannehill. Jonesy Wakanombi says, as a 4th wide receiver is still a good pick. He will still be productive. His ceiling. Yeah, and like once, Treylon Burks is gone. So Treylon Burks went right around typical ADP, which is interesting. So we will go Kyle Pitts because we love Kyle Pitts. And we will go with George Pickens. We're low-key having like an incredible draft right now. I really like our draft. Very, very good draft. But yeah. Sean Wilson says, Dill 998 got Lamar and Andrews stack in 3 and 4 rounds. Sean Wilson also says, been trying for that for a while. I mean, it usually happens when you're at like when you're picking right around the bench. So if you're like at the 101 or the 112, if they happen to fall, that's usually where you'll get that stack. But typically, like especially on drafters, and this is why I love drafters, people are so petty and like they'll see like, oh, this guy just drafted Andrews, he's gonna want Lamar Jackson right around the bend, even though I have zero correlation and like I'm not building around Lamar Jackson. I'm gonna snipe him just because I'm petty like that, and I love that. I love that attitude. I love that energy. So once again, if you're just tuning in, hi. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are doing an impromptu live real money draft here on Drafters Fantasy Sports. We're personally drafting from Ontario, Canada, so it is in fact available in Canada, or in Ontario and all of Canada and everywhere in the United States except for like a few states. So yeah, we're drafting here, and we're drafting today simply because DeAndre Hopkins signed, and we've been looking for a DeAndre Hopkins signing forever. Like we've been dying to see if DeAndre Hopkins is going to finally sign somewhere, and he did. Today he signed to the Tennessee Titans for a 2-year deal. First year, $15 million, and then second year he's going to be paid the base salary of $12 million. So all in all, it's a $27 million deal. We don't know if there's incentives or not yet, but the deal's pretty much final. I think they're like tweaking a few numbers here and there, but DeAndre Hopkins, 2 years, $27 million to the Tennessee Titans. He said the reason why he picked the Tennessee Titans is one, they have very sound and consistent management, whatever the hell that means. All right. Two, they have a quarterback who loves football, which in my humble opinion is like they have 3 quarterbacks who could love football. All of them can play, and all of them have like more red flags than the reason for me to want to draft them or sign them. So like it's whatever, you know what I mean? So, and then the final reason was they have a defense that can win, and defenses win championships. If you look at last year's numbers, the Tennessee Titans were bottom 5 against quarterbacks in terms of fantasy football production, and they were dead last against the wide receiver in terms of wide receiver production. So that's why they didn't make the playoffs. That in like a horrible quarterback room, horrible quarterback situation. And they brought 2 of those guys back. They added another guy with a bunch of red flags. So yeah, once again, I don't expect Hopkins to skyrocket in terms of ADP. He went as a 3rd pick in the 4th round, and Treylon Burks stayed relative to ADP based on drafts that we've seen in the past, where he fell to round 6 towards the later end of round 6. So yeah, we're not seeing anything crazy. Evan Ingram, another guy who we got news on today, signed a contract extension, 3 years. I don't know the exact numbers in terms of the contract, but it was a 3-year deal. All right, we were desperate for wide receiver there. Okay, this is a very interesting draft for us. We'll look at all the disco balls in here and see how their drafts are going. We'll start with Big Willie style. So he's the one who got the DeAndre Hopkins thumbnail correlation. I just realized that in the background it says breaking news. I put a M instead of a N. That's what happens when you try to do a thumbnail on your phone. I was in a hurry, guys, to try to race back and do this. I'm not perfect, but I make a perfect effort. So yeah, breaking news. So he went A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, got that thumbnail correlation with DeAndre Hopkins in the 4th round. Then Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. So he's got a nice stack going with the Jacksonville Jaguars with Ridley, Etienne, and Trevor Lawrence. Then Jordan Addison and Cortland Sutton. Very solid draft. He's going hero RB. No tight ends at this point. So look for him to start really reaching on running back value and tight end value very soon. And if anybody's going to snag one of these quarterbacks And like when I say one of these quarterbacks, it could be 3 quarterbacks. Like they all have the potential to start there in Tennessee. If anybody has a reason to snag them, it's Big Willie style. I also say I anticipate he's going to grab Chigozimo Okonkwo here if Chig is still available. Angry Elf went Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb, Christian Watson, Jerry Jeudy, then went super crazy at running back. J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Miles Sanders, and Elijah Moore, Nico Collins. So no tight ends, no quarterbacks yet for him. I'm very curious to see. I like the way Angry Elf drafts. I'm very curious to see what he ends up with as his final roster. I do like the way he drafts, though. This is a very solid, unique build. Our good friend Jonesy Wan Kenobi went Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Jalen Hurts, Joe Mixon, Terry McLaurin, Dallas Goedert, Brandon Cook. So hero RB, and Joe Mixon's his hero. Then DeAndre Swift and Samaje Perine. So he's getting really good running back value here. And so far, we have Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, DJ Moore, Justin Fields. So we got our Fields, DJ Moore stack, which is our favorite stack. Kyle Pitts, George Pickens, AJ Dillon, Odell Beckham Jr. So this is a very sound draft for us. I typically wouldn't grab 2 running backs back to back, but a Derrick Henry and Ramondre Stevenson running back room is pretty enticing, simply because you're going to get a lot of breaking, like that. This, they have the cheat code to break fantasy football. They're going to get the volume and the red zone looks, and that alone is reason enough to draft them. Chig Okonkwo is still available. And I'm just seeing based off of bye weeks, I believe we have Kyle Pitts in his bye week is week 11. Yep. But so is Evan Ingram. And I'm surprised Willie didn't add Evan Ingram to his Lawrence stack. He decided to go a little bit more running back. Yeah, he went hero RB. He needed to address his running back room. But yeah. All right, we're on the board. We'll go Juju and Zay Jones. So we're sitting pretty at the wide receiver position. We actually have like top value at all positions right now. We're doing pretty well. If you guys don't know, we are currently drafting on Drafters Fantasy Sports. This is a real money fantasy football draft. It's not a mock draft. It's a $3 buy-in. First place gets $30,000. There's $200,000 in total winnings. It is best ball format. In my humble opinion, it's the most convenient way for you to draft. You got 20 rounds, all right, to fill your roster for depth. I'm going to try to do this without putting up the overlay. You got 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. You get a starting lineup that's composed of the following positions: 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Your goal here is to build your lineup for depth because it is, in fact, best ball format. So say you got like a Justin Fields and Dak Prescott as your 2 quarterbacks. Say Justin Fields has an off day and Dak Prescott plays well. You don't have to worry about benching and starting the wrong guy. What you get here is they apply the points, the best overall points and best overall performance to your lineup, and they apply it to your weekly matchup. So to win this tournament, you have to have the most fantasy points scored per week. And this applies for all positions, that best ball format where they take the best overall performances and apply it to your weekly matchup. So you have to have the most overall points to win first place. So you have to draft for unique correlation, all that good jazz. The most convenient way for you to draft, quite possibly, because there is no waiver wires, there's no trades, there's nothing. You literally just draft it and forget it unless it's winning you money. So the best part about fantasy football is the fantasy football draft, and that's why we get to do 150 of these drafts. Right now we're sitting at, I believe this is our 95th or 96th $3 mini. We've got 6 or 7 drafters, 2 million. So like we're we've been doing this since late April. We've been drafting since late April. Like as soon as the NFL draft was concluded, we started doing this. And then after this draft is concluded, or after there goes Chigozie Mukonkwo. So after this draft is concluded, I'll show you guys how this pick'em works. It's pretty freaking dope. I love season-long props. If you stack 4 season-long props, so say you want Aaron Rodgers to hit over in his passing yards, you want Daniel Jones to go under in his passing yards, you want Mac Jones to go over in his passing touchdowns, and you think Josh Jacobs is going to score under 9 touchdowns, if you pick those 4 props, it will 10x your money. So if you put $1, you'll get $10. Sorry, math not working right now. Once again, this is all clustered to me. This is all happening too fast. All right, we need a second quarterback and a second tight end. So we're good at both of those positions. We do need to get some value at running back, but I do like the 3 running backs we currently have. We've gone with like big body running backs this draft. So we're looking to bruise the competition here. So Chigozie Mukonkwo actually fell in terms of ADP. Usually he goes around like late round 10, mid round 11. He fell to mid round 12 over here. Jonesy Wakanobi says, I was praying you didn't take Carr. I have no Carr correlation right now. So it wouldn't make sense. I mean, I don't have any Aaron Rodgers correlation either. That's kind of like just like a dart throw, but I know there's a lot of value that I can stack with Aaron Rodgers later on. He's quickly becoming one of my most drafted players, and I freaking hate him. I can't stand him. Did you end up getting Carr, Jonesy? Yeah, you did. Oh, God. What did I do? What did I do? Okay. So, yeah, if you end up putting 8 props, on your pick'em, you'll 100x your money. So $1 will be $100. $10 would be $1,000. But this would all have to settle by the end of the season. Now, I do advise when you do these, even though the overs look enticing, in order for the over to hit, these players have to play all 17 to 18 weeks. They have to play all 18 weeks. Okay, obviously they play 17 weeks because everybody gets a bye, but they have to play all 18 weeks. So that means if one player who you're projecting to hit an over misses 1 to 2, if not more games, it's chalked. So I try to find the unders where there's so much inflated, like projected stats, and pair those in a parlay. And like I've already done 25 of them, like a couple $9 ones, just because $900 would be cool. And then like, I want to say like 21, 22, $1 8Xs. All of them have been 8Xs, nothing less. Adrian Fitt, what up, baby boy? Good to see you in here. I was drinking an IPA in the meadows of suburbia and I missed it. Where did Burks go? I got you. Burks went in round 6. So right around ADP. Right here. So he went towards the later end of round 6. So pick 69. And then once again, Hopkins went right around ADP as well. Round 4, pick 39. We ended up snagging Derrick Henry at the end of the second round just to get correlation elsewhere. And then the other guy, so there's 2 more guys we're looking at. And then so Chigozie Mukonkwo, he actually fell around. All right, we need a running back here. So let's pull up slider view. We'll grab Roshan Johnson. Oh, where the hell did all the running backs go? All right, Tyquan Thornton. Man, running backs are flying here. We're going to have to queue a couple up. All right. Him. Like that one. Sorry, bear with me. I'm just queuing up here. Queuing up some late schnaggaroos. We want to get some good late round value at the running back position because people have been reaching on them today. Do you guys think Melvin Gordon is going to sign anywhere? I know we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins news and who the hell cares about Melvin Gordon, but I feel like he would be a good like last overall pick to get like decent exposure elsewhere. And once again, like I don't expect Ryan Tannehill to go much earlier, but I am expecting him to start going like 16th, 17th round. So expect one of these guys who has Tannehill or one of these receiving threats in Tennessee to snag Tannehill. In my humble opinion, he's the only one who's really going to go up in ADP based off of like the news, because like Hopkins is at a fair price point. Burks, I think, is like a little too high in terms of ADP. I would like to see Burks go like 7th, 8th round. 6th is still way too high. Chigozimo Kongpu is the biggest beneficiary, in my humble opinion, and Derrick Henry from the Hopkins signing. So that's that for me. But that quarterback room is so like shaky. Malik Willis has been absolutely killing it in camp, but like I don't think he's going to get a chance to start or play or be the starter, because I think that the coaching staff there, just like Mike Vrabel, just generally hates Malik Willis. I don't know if Malik Willis was like a dick to him or like said something in passing, but like Vrabel despises Malik Willis. They're still riding with Tannehill, and Tannehill's been like subpar. The best part about Ryan Tannehill is not the fact that he's good at distributing the football. It's the fact that like he used to be a wide receiver and he's got great athleticism. He's not the most reliable quarterback to distribute the football. And then Will Levi, who like has a lot of like personality issues. Like he's got like Ryan Leaf like personality issues where he's just like so in his own head. Like dude is a weirdo. But he's got a lot of talent. We just don't know too much about him. Like there's not a lot on paper. He doesn't have that much experience. I think he's just got like a year as a starter. So yeah, it's a very interesting quarterback room. I don't anticipate wanting to draft any of those quarterbacks until we get a definitive like, okay, this guy's our starter. But in other news, I think like the first preseason game, the NFL Hall of Fame preseason game, that's like, a couple of weeks. We got NFL football to watch in a couple of weeks. Crazy. All right, we'll take Tim Patrick, and we'll get a double stack with Ramondre Stevenson and Pierre Strong. I don't think I need another quarterback. I don't think I need another tight end. So these last 3 picks are going to be tight ends. Wide receivers and running backs. And then we'll create a pick them together. And by create a pick them together, I'm just going to show you guys how it works. Grab like 8 categories or 8 props, and then show you guys that if you put $1, you get up to $100 match, or not up to $100 match, but if you put $1 and you put 8 props, they'll 100 extra money. Where you'll get $100 matched is if you sign up to Drafters Fantasy today using promo code DiscoDrafts1, you get up to $100 match with your initial deposit. Drafters is available in Ontario and pretty much everywhere else that's a legal betting state in the United States. Friendly reminder, all transactions are done in US dollar Ruskies. Adrian Fidesz says, Vrabel doesn't seem the type to dislike a guy for personality. Willis just doesn't look good. I think he got benched for scrabbling too much. I don't know, man. Like every time Vrabel and Willis are like on camera together, or there's any sort of like news about Vrabel and Willis, it just seems like there's a lot of animosity there. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know if Willis is a good guy or a bad guy, but like I think Vrabel like is petty, but I also love Vrabel. I love Vrabel. One of the best tight ends to never play the tight end position. I'm telling you, man. I always got my vitamin water on deck. Today we got kiwi fraise. So strawberry kiwi. It's absolutely delicious. I need to get sponsored by Vitamin Water. Honestly, that is my goal. I'm putting that out there to the universe. Sponsor the kid. I would love free vitamin water for the rest of my life because it is a tasty beverage and it keeps your boy hydrated. Yeah, we got 7 people here on an impromptu draft. I appreciate it. Who else is in the chat? How's everybody doing today? I have not really done like much of a draft summary. I've kind of just been talking about like all the implications here. There goes Ryan Tannehill, round 18. So typically he'd go round 20 or undrafted. Right now, gone at the beginning, the 3rd overall pick in round 18. And that's to one of our disco balls. So that's to one of our guys who's listening. I expect as the next coming days within the next week for his ADP to start jumping up. I'm expecting him anywhere between round 15 and round 16. I think Treylon Burks, as the smoke settles, will start fading, and that's where we'll start really getting some exposure to Treylon Burks. I don't think Hopkins is going to jump up in ADP. I think Chigoziem should jump up in ADP, but I love the value he's currently at. And the fact that he was drafted relatively later today is absolutely exciting because I would love to get way more exposure to that man. All right, we'll get Keontae Ingram. I'm doing a breakdown right now in terms of like ease of schedule, based off of defensive oppositions and how they would play against the quarterback position, the run position, tight ends and wide receivers, and based off of like off-season acquisitions and just like overall how the defenses look, kind of like rank them all. And like I utilized stats from last year and created projections this year. And in terms of like ease of schedule, the Cardinals have a pretty easy schedule for the running back position. And I think one of the teams, if I'm not mistaken, that has the easiest schedule for the quarterback position is the Indianapolis Colts. It's crazy. It's crazy that, Anthony Richardson could break fantasy football this year. Just based off of my projections, he's got one of the easiest schedules. I don't know if I want to release this information to too many people because like I might just like hog it myself and use it. And if it wins, and if it wins a lot of money, you bet your dollarooskies, you bet your butts I am selling this product next year. Because like it's taken a lot of work, a lot of time. Like on our weekends, like Friday, I spent about 6 hours on it. Yesterday, I spent about 10 hours on it. Today, I spent about 4 hours. I'm planning to spend another 4 hours on it. And I'm hoping to have it done completely by Wednesday. So it's taking a lot of work. There's a lot of number crunching. And yeah, if it works, I am, and I'm sure like theoretically this should work. But if it does work, you bet your butts I'm selling it. Nobody's going to have access to it but me this year. Maybe my wife. Maybe I'll let my wife have access, but nobody else. But if you guys do want our big draft energy draft guide and like our tier list breakdowns, yeah, just subscribe to the channel and use promo code DiscoDrafts1 and we'll give you that, which is a $25 value for free, completely free. Just subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow. And once we get to 150 subscribers, I'll give away a Drafters 2 million ticket entry. That's $20 value. Once we get to 200 subscribers, I'll give away another three $20 tickets. And we'll just do it live here like we've done in the past. We got Jonesy, who's been a winner. We got Snowman, who's capped out at his $3 minis. He's already done 150 $3 minis. I think he finished that like earlier this week on Monday, which is absolutely crazy. All right, let's see what kind of last overall pick value we'll get here. I don't think I want to get another running back. I want a wide receiver. So let's pull up the wide receivers. Go to slider view. This is a guy who could benefit. Yeah. If it's not Chig, it's going to be Nick Westbrook Ikine. So let's just wrap up our draft here and then show you guys how this Drafters Fantasy Pick'em works. Once again, you can 100x your money. I mean, you do have to be patient. Like, you're not going to get the money until like the season's concluded. But like, it's pretty exciting. So Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers at our quarterback position. So we went with a 2-7-9-2 build, something we typically wouldn't do. Running back, we went with a two-headed monster to start. So we got Derrick Henry and Ramondre Stevenson. We also have AJ Dillon, Roshan Johnson. We got a double stack with Pierre Strong and Ramondre Stevenson. We also picked up Zamir White in anticipation that Josh Jacobs will in fact sit this season, and Keontae Ingram, because James Conner can't stay healthy every year historically, and they have a very easy schedule in terms of running the football this year. So Keontae Ingram's going to be one of my last round picks for the next couple of weeks. Justin Jefferson starts us off at the wide receiver position. We did draft at the 101. Then we got DJ Moore. So we got the DJ Moore and the Justin Fields stack, which is our favorite stack out there. And we also got some Roshan Johnson correlation. So that's good. Did I just get a notification that I'm on the clock? There's no way I'm on the clock. Draft is over. And I know that I'm not drafting in the slow. I'm still doing the same slow draft. So yeah, at tight end, we got Kyle Pitts and Greg Dulcich. Kyle Pitts is somebody who I want to keep drafting. I love Kyle Pitts. All right, let's go. How the hell do I go back to the lobby? All right, let's just put this down here and then try to figure out how the hell I could go back to the lobby. All right, I figured it out. Okay. So we'll go here. All right, so here's the NFL Pick'em. It's literally up here on the top right. If you're using the app, it's in the bottom in the middle when you're using the app. They'll give you stats for a bunch of players. So like you can only pick one stat and you can't stack stats from the same team. So if like you say, like I want 4,000 passing yards over or under for Aaron Rodgers, and then like I want over whatever Garrett Wilson's yardages or under, you can't stack teammates like that. So let's look at rushing yards. I don't really want to play too much with the quarterback position. All right, Daniel Jones over 575.5 rushing yards. I'm going to pass on that one. AJ Dillon over 700.5 rushing yards. So AJ Dillon, I love him, but he is a touchdown machine in the last half of the season. Do I think that correlates to 700 or more yards? No, but do I think it's like something that's definitive? I don't. I think Aaron Jones over 875.5 rushing yards is pretty sweet. I like that. Austin Eckler, 775.5 rushing yards. I'll smash the over. Breece Hall, 850.5 rushing yards. I am hesitant to click the over because like I do think he's going to smash this, but I also don't know how healthy his knees are. Jonesy Wakanobi says, was it your slow? No, it couldn't be my slow because I'm 16 away. Says I heard it too. Yeah, no idea. All right, Brian Robinson. So right now we're 6x our money. So one more pick and we'll 10x our money, but we're going for the whole 8 so we can 100x our money. How do you guys feel about Brian Robinson or Cam Akers here? Christian McCaffrey over 865.5 rushing yards. Once again, it's another one of those where it's like if he gets hurt, this is chalked. But DeAndre Swift over 567.5 rushing yards. I'm going to smash the over on that one. I don't anticipate Jalen Hurts is going to run as much as he did last year, simply because there's a lot of financial investment behind him. But then again, I don't know how good he is as just like an overall quarterback. So he may depend on the rush. So I'm just going to leave that alone. David Montgomery, 775 rushing yards. I'm going to leave that one alone either, because like I personally don't think he's going to run for over that. But I also don't know if they're going to like feature him as a starter as opposed to Jahmyr Gibbs. So I don't know about that. Derrick Henry, 1,225.5 rushing yards. I'm going to take the under. Am I going to take the under? Yeah, I'm going to take the under. Elijah Mitchell, 575.5 rushing yards. Don't like it. Don't want it. I'll take the Jonathan. Oh, yeah, I'll take the Jonathan Taylor over 1,200.5 rushing yards. I'll take the Josh Jacobs under. And I have one more. So I want to find Saquon Barkley here. So whatever it is, I'm just going to take the under. Yeah, I'm going to take under. I'm not hating on Saquon Barkley. I'm not hating on Josh Jacobs. I just don't think they're going to sign. And if they don't sign, then this is free money, right? So I'm going to put $1 here. So as you guys can see here, place entry, 8 out of 8, $1 bet right here turns into $100. So we'll place our entry. It's processing. Great success. All right, guys. Once again, sorry I didn't give you guys a heads up. I just figured I wanted to see how the news broke down and how ADP would shift. And the only change in ADP we saw today was Ryan Tannehill actually went up a couple of rounds. Derrick Henry, we got him, but like he's still second, third round value. Hopkins still early fourth round value. Treylon Burks still stayed relatively close to the middle of the sixth. Westbrook Akine still goes relatively undrafted. And Chigozimo Okonkwo actually fell to round 12. That's it for today. I don't have to finish these streams by saying hopefully we'll get some DeAndre Hopkins news. We got it. We got the breaking news. Once again, guys, thank you. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, this was fun. Hopefully we can do more impromptus. We'll definitely do this once we get a Dalvin Cook signing, or if we get like definitive news on Josh Jacobs or Saquon Barkley. But until next time, which is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, love you guys. Peace.